African countries have been experiencing high growth trends in the past 2 decades. In fact, a study showed that between the year 2000 and 2020, the African continent was the second fastest growing region in the world. This growth is driven by rapid urbanization, more money in the pockets of consumers who now place more demand for goods and services. So when this growth happens, it is a sign that businesses in the country, on the continent, in the countries of the continent are growing. Typically, African business offers a higher rate of returns than most other parts of the world. Why is this the case? This is partly because of the history of doing business in Africa. The difficulty of accessing resources has geared African entrepreneurs in such a way as to do business to be able to earn generally higher income than the rest, higher returns than the rest of the world. That is to employ strategies that improves upon their returns. Let me give an example. I was reading the story of an entrepreneur that runs a medical complex. And he said there was a time when he had to borrow funds at over 30%. In fact, he said about at one stage 40% interest per year. Now, in some parts of the world, this sounds completely crazy. But when you borrow at 40% per year, to survive, you have to learn how to have double digit returns. He now has a successful medical complex. Thank God he was able to pay back all his loans. But that that way of doing business is uniquely African. It has been very difficult or very rare in the continent to get interest to get loans at single digit interest. The tendency has been to get loans or funding at double digit interest. So African business people have learned how to be very frugal on expenses and very aggressive, or out there on incomes. So this has created a certain business culture that drives a higher return on investment on the continent of Africa. So if you're doing business in Africa, you should be expecting a higher return on investment. Other factors that have also shaped the way Africans do business is things like devaluation. Currency devaluation has also made African business people learn to do business in a way that their returns on investment can be higher than the devaluation rates of devaluation of their respective countries or currencies. Now, I must point out here that in trying to do business in Africa, we are not encouraging you to chase after promises of unreasonable returns on investments, promises given by Ponzi schemes and scams, and just deals that are not viable. We still encourage a business investor to do a proper analysis, a proper feasibility study, and to plan conservatively. We always encourage that the higher than average return on investment should surprise and be a bonus, but should not be the basis of the planning. The planning should be conservative. It should be done like it would be done anywhere else. Risks should be managed. However, it is a fact that Africa offers high growth rates and high return on investments. Statistically, over the last 10 to 20 years, a large number of the fastest growing countries in the world have been African countries. This is a testament to the growth that the continent offers.